Eubank's one of the best thinking fighters there is in the world. It's captured the public's imagination. You've got grandmothers talking about it. Women in bingo halls are talking about it. Need to see where that's going.
Yeah,
I've heard about it's going to ex-fighters funds. Well, I'm one of thousands upon thousands of ex-fighters. I've never had a single peep from the board since I retired.
Your boy Owen, we're back with Tony Bellew, the bomber, for our monthly update in the world of boxing. How have you been, Tony? You looking well?
Cracking on, mate. I'm doing okay. Enjoying the boxing. Enjoying the football a lot more. So yeah, life's good as an Evertonian.
Yeah. Got a point off the Arsenal.
Yes.
I'm an Arsenal, so yeah.
Oof.
In general terms, a fair result. I suppose the penalty was a little bit controversial, but wasn't it? Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a silly one, if I'm being totally honest. But if you get that, you're made up. If he goes against you, you're furious. So it's one of them things. Really good game. Arsenal on the top side. Top team who are just unfortunate. Just unfortunate to come across a team like Liverpool who are doing so well this season. So only lost 2 games all season in Liverpool, so it's going to be hard to get them to beat them to top spot.
All right. Before we get into the boxing, I just wanted to ask you kind of about superstitions. If you had any during your career and things that you did before the match, or
I'd always put the left glove on first because in my tiny little mind and thoughts, I was going to hit him with the left hand first. So wrap the left hand first, put the left glove on first, left boot on first, always left foot first. Okay, so yeah, being orthodox, yes, but I'm right-handed.
You feel like your left arm, because obviously the jabs with the left arm.
Yeah. I just think your left hand is the most important hand. For an orthodox fighter, you know, the lead hand is always the most important. You know, it sets up everything. It can, in offense and defense, it's a huge. For me, it's the greatest weapon in boxing, the jab.
Absolutely, yeah, 100%. Did you ever pay much attention to kind of boxing analysts predicting the outcome of your fights during your career? Can you remember?
No, because they usually pick against me. So, no, not really. No. I mean, it's background noise. You would hear it, and in the build-up to big fights, you would always hear, you know, people's opinions and. You know, it's usually a member of your team who lets you know, so one in your team will say, oh, did you hear what this guy said? Did you hear what that guy said? Did you hear what he predicted? Whether you choose to let that affect you or whether you choose to let the noise in the room get to you, then that's up to you. Each individual's different. For me, I've fought my life on proving people wrong, and it was no different with TV pundits.
Did you enjoy being the underdog? Bring the best out of you.
It just motivated me. In life and in general, people put me down, and I'm used to it from where I come from. You're constantly down, so you know you've got to fight against something every day. So whether I was fighting to prove people wrong, whether I was fighting against other people's opinions, I'm always fighting against something. I think when everything's going for you, it's at that stage then where you have to worry a little bit. You know, you need your detractors, you need your haters, whatever you want to call them. They help motivate you. If you've got people who don't like you and got people who don't agree with or don't like what you're doing, then you know you're gonna find most of the time you're doing something right. Because people don't like success. That's just
most of your career you were doing a lot.
Yeah, that's just a cold hard fact. People don't like success, and I think your success lets people know what they could have been and should have been had they put the work in like you did. Other people's success, you know, targets other lesser people's inadequacies. Right. Whereas for me, someone like me, I was always striving. I didn't care what anyone else was doing. You know, what you're good for you. I'm happy for you, but I'm doing what I'm doing, and whatever I'm doing, that's all I'm focused on. That's all I care about. I didn't have time to focus on anyone else.
Fair enough. Someone that had success at the weekend, David Adeleye. Controversially so once again, kind of, but you know, Jamie TKV gave a good account of himself, but what did you make of the stoppage and the way that it kind of materialised?
I thought it was a decent fight. I thought it was bubbling up. I thought KTV was getting stronger as the rounds went on, but I thought David Adeleye always looked the puncher in the fight. I thought, you know, I'm all for, you know, punching on the break and stuff like that. It's wrong, and the referee says break, you're supposed to break, but the first rule we all learn in professional boxing is quite simple: defend yourself at all times.
All times, yeah.
And under no
100%.
Until there's a referee in between you, that's the only time. And even then, I would be aware. Your eyes should never leave your opponent.
No.
Even if you're in a clinch.
The ref didn't get in the middle of them. He didn't.
Well, there was a couple of incidents on the weekend. There was the one where he knocks the hand away and the boy is open to a shot then. That's been going on for decades in boxing. Referees freeing up each fighter's hands at certain times. No, it's nothing new. So, and this punching on the break's nothing new.
Yeah.
So we're going over old ground, but I think for David Adeleye, excuse me,
no problem.
For David Adeleye, I think it's kind of a lesson learned, because I think he'll have felt the same was done to him by Fabio Wardley.
Yes, yeah.
A couple of years back. And while I'm not saying anyone's right or wrong here. It's quite simple. Just listen and adhere to the rules. Protect yourself at all times, and you won't go far wrong. So KTV, without sounding too harsh, is probably only got himself to blame.
A bit naive there.
Yeah, definitely, and that'll come with experience. He's a good fighter. He's a big, strong boy, but a little bit naive and a little bit green.
No, it's gone full circle now. David Adelaye's got Fabio Wardley's British Heavyweight Championship, hasn't he? Which
he has. He has, but I just think the water started to deepen now. I think we've seen that in the Fabio Wardley fight. So I'm not sure what David Adeleye level is, but I think we'll find out that when we see how far Fabio Wardley goes, and Fabio Wardley's got his work cut out next fight, to be totally honest, against Jarrell Miller.
Yes, yeah.
That's a hard night's work for him, because Jarrell Miller is massively durable. I mean, he's just like a big mattress with arms. He just absorbs absolutely everything.
He takes a lot of punishment, doesn't he? He can give it out as well.
Yeah, and he can give it back. We've seen that fight with Andy Ruiz. I think went to a draw, and it was razor thin. It's one he could have got. Some people had Jarrell Miller win and some people had Andy Ruiz win, but either way, it's a really close contest, and Andy Ruiz is a top-class fighter.
Well, yeah, a word there about Jarrell Miller. Like we said, he's getting it's a final eliminator, I believe.
Yeah.
So, but the fact that he's, been popped 3 times for PEDs, how does that make you feel? And how is this a reality in boxing in 2025 that he's getting this shot?
I just think when he failed for what he failed for, now listen, I'm not condoning any drug cheats, because anyone cheating for steroid and performance enhancing drugs should be banned for life. I've said this and I'll stand by it. People fail for things over the counter. I believe they should have a slap on the wrist and be told and taught about how, important nutrition is in boxing. But someone who's taken, when Jarrell Miller failed that drug test to fight Anthony Joshua, he was one molecule off being the Incredible Hulk. He had every single agent in his body possible. I mean, every steroid possible, from EPO to testosterone and that. I'm surprised he didn't explode. It's wild. How did he think he was going to get away with it? It's absolute madness. It really is. And until someone is banned for life, it's not going to stop, because these fighters will take the risk of getting a 2-year slap on the wrist, and they'll keep doing it. Someone's got to set a precedent. Do you know what I mean? And I think that the levels of things that are in your system should be taken into account, because there is, foods are changing. All kinds of different things are given to now to enhance foods, but when someone's on steroids, it's clear as night as day.
It has long-term benefits as well. It's not just for that one fight. So Fabio Wardley now is fighting someone who's potentially benefited from all those.
Yeah,
those
I agree. I agree. I feel for Fab, I really do. And Fabio, in my opinion, shouldn't have to go through Jarrell Miller. Yeah. I think this is one of the world title eliminators he's fighting for. How Jarrell Miller's got to a world title eliminator, I'll never know, because you've just been popped how many times.
Lost to Daniel Dubois.
It's just one of these things. But like I said before, I'll say it again. We're not going to learn until somebody is banned for life. And when the first person gets banned for life for failing for performance enhancing drugs, i.e. steroids, that's when we'll see it.
Send a shockwave out through the sport, won't it? And then people think twice about actually making those decisions.
100%.
Joe Joyce and Filip Hrgović. Yeah. Another defeat for Joe Joyce. A fair play to him. Another sturdy performance. Took it the distance. He said he won't retire. Frank Warren says he should retire.
Oh, thanks for all that. It's nice of you to say after the fight. I think I seen a video, it was on social media, I think it lasted for about 4 or 5 minutes, someone showed me. Joe was speaking on camera and not making any sense at all.
Was that after this fight or previously?
Before the fight. And it was heartbreaking to watch. Joe Joyce is an intelligent man. He's not soft, he's not stupid. He's taken unnecessary punishments. Now, I called for this after the Derek Chisora fight. People are jumping on this bandwagon now. I mean, I did tell anyone and everyone who'd listen, as soon as he was done by Zhang in the first one, I told anyone who'd listen, his greatest asset was his durability and his ability to absorb serious amounts of punishment and not be budged. That was his asset. And I told anyone who'd listen, when that goes, he's a danger in boxing.
Downhill fast from there.
It's not just downhill, it's life-changing. And I think his life is already changing now. From a physical perspective and from the outside looking in, he is not the same person he was when he beat Daniel Dubois.
It's kind of sad the way his career is kind of the down turn in his career, because he was looking great at that point in time, wasn't he? Really, no one expected him to win that fight.
When he beats Daniel Dubois and the manner he beats him, I mean, listen, he just absorbs everything Daniel Dubois can throw at him.
That's true.
And everyone forgets this. He done the exact same as Joseph Parker.
Yeah.
He absorbs everything that can be thrown at him, and he outmans you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's heartbreaking. If you're a fighter and I've been one, and you hit a fighter with everything you've got, and he just keeps coming. Yeah. He doesn't even need to be a big point. He just breaks your heart, and you've just had enough. And he done both of it to Daniel Dubois, and he done it to Joseph Parker. Yeah. But as I said before, once that durability goes,
it's never coming back.
That's it, and that's his great asset, and it's gone. And Zhang just popped it one day. It was always going to go. I wasn't sure at what point. I mean, don't get me wrong, you do get freaks in the game, like Oliver McCall. I was waiting for his to go one day, it never did. You know, the most durable heavyweight ever, in my opinion. But Joe Joyce's did, and I just hope good people are around to say, Joe, enough's enough. You know, I'd like to believe he's earned a few quid and he's done okay. And let me tell you, he's earned every single penny of it if he has. So just walk away into the sunset and enjoy what you've done, mate.
You spoke there about the Joseph Parker. You know, he's right in the mix. He kind of got his shot at Daniel Dubois snatched away from him. Yeah. Where do you think he is now? Should he be next in line to face Usyk? But will he actually get that shot?
I think he's the most deserving fighter in the world of a heavyweight championship fight, without a shadow of a doubt. I can't. I mean, I think he's even more deserving than Daniel Dubois. Had he have not, if Joseph Parker was British, it would have been Joseph Parker and Anthony Joshua in Wembley. It wouldn't have been Daniel Dubois, because
against him being New Zealand.
It does, of course it does, because, you know, although he's a big name, I just think they're overlooking him, and he's being unfairly treated. He fought bogeyman after bogeyman after bogeyman, and he was written off time after time after time. I mean, they thrown him to the wolves with Deontay Wilder, absolutely thrown him to the wolves.
Expected him to get sparked out.
Expected him to get flattened, and then they thought, right, okay, well, he survived that one, let's throw him again. Throw him to Zhilei Zhang. You know, every time he's thrown to the wolves, he comes back leading the pack.
Yeah, amazing.
And he's done absolutely unbelievable. And then the latest travesty was the Daniel Dubois pull-out. And listen, if he's sick, he's got to pull out. I don't question Daniel Dubois whatsoever. But he didn't have to take on another bogeyman in Martin Bakole, who no one wanted to go near. No. You know, we've heard about him. He's the greatest sparring expert on the planet, and he's absolutely smashed the life out of every single person walking on the planet in sparring. But I think we soon realised, and he's soon seen, that everything's different with 10-ounce gloves on and no head guards on. So, but I think Martin Bakole will be back. I do think he'll still feature in and amongst the heavyweights, but the blueprints there know how to do him. Yeah. And Joseph Parker once again has shown us that.
Probably see Bakole in better shape next time we see him in the ring.
Yeah, that wasn't pleasing to see that. I mean, I understand why he's done it. You know, it's a last minute call. He's a heavyweight, doesn't have to make weight. But if you genuinely believe you're going to win, go for it. But you can't genuinely believe you're going to beat a man who's been in fight shape. He's been in the camp for 12 weeks, and then you're going to turn up on 3 or 4 days' notice, and you're, what was he, 300 pounds plus? Which just, it's not a good look, mate.
Staying down under with Jai Opetaia, you know, great fighter with so much potential. Do you think he has what it takes to move up to heavyweight, assuming he continues on his current path at cruiserweight?
Well, he's the best cruiserweight in the world, hands down. No, I don't think he's big enough for the heavyweights. I think he's good enough, but I don't think he's big enough.
So you wouldn't advise him to take the risk?
If he's to face Alexander Usyk, he's not going to beat him, but he'd give him a good fight. He'd give him a very good fight. Yeah. His aggression will be his downfall at heavyweight. At cruiserweight, he can be the monster. He can be the beast who walks you down and pounds you and works you away. At heavyweight, you can't do that. No, you ain't walking no one down. Because these guys are 19, 20 stone. And believe you me, you're going to feel every single time you walk in, if they don't hit you with a punch, you're going to feel the weight of them. And that's the different kind of ball game you're playing when you go to the heavyweights. I've been in with heavyweights, I know, you know, facing David Haye, mate, was physically, he was a different beast, and he's a small heavyweight. He's the same size as me, he's a small heavyweight, but the physical strength of him getting older and the weight leaning down on you, it's a different game.
Quick one about UFC President Dana White. You know, he's launching the new boxing league. Have you heard about it? There's less weight divisions. It's kind of a different, it's kind of shake up boxing. What's your take on Dana White's boxing?
I think he's trying to use a format similar to the UFC. You have to understand what Dana's achieved with the UFC is nothing short of remarkable. Right. I'm a mixed martial arts fan. I've been watching and studying mixed martial arts since the days of Mark Kerr and Mark Coleman. There's the documentary out there for those who've never seen it called The Smashing Machine. That will tell you everything you need to know about mixed martial arts and the UFC when it starts building up and focuses on it. I also was watching it and loving it when the Ultimate Fighter got put on, and then watching it when, you know, people miss what actually made and saved the UFC. It was Stephan Bonner and Forrest Griffin.
Oh yeah, you told us.
This is the fight that it's the greatest fight in UFC history that I've ever seen. These fellas absolutely smashed the life out of each other, and they done it on Spike TV. And it just blew up from there. Overnight, it exploded. This fight was, this fight changed mixed martial arts in the UFC. Right. Well, it did, in my opinion. I think Dana's come out and said it as well. Okay. Stephan Bonner and Forrest Griffin, it was just unbelievable. It really was. It's chaos. And so if you watch it, wow.
Back 90s? Mid-90s?
No, I think it was after the... No, it might have been 90s.
Yeah, late 90s.
It might be late 90s.
Compilation of UFC knockouts.
It's just unbelievable. Mark Kerr, Mark Coleman, Tito Ortiz, all them guys, you know, Randy Couture, Ken Shamrock, all these fellas fighting each other. It's the purest form of fighting. There's no two ways about it. But one man's been able to control the narrative the whole way through. And if one man can control the narrative and can control where it's going, it's a lot easier to control. Boxing has been going since the start of man. And one man will never completely control all of boxing. That's true. I'm sorry to tell you, it's impossible. There's too many managers, there's too many promoters, there's too many agendas. And yes, you can align some of them, and money will help with that. But you're never going to have one person running boxing.
Be the kind of renegades and outliers.
Yeah, and you can't do away with belts either.
No.
And people, whoever's suggesting that is wrong for doing it, don't destroy the history and the heritage of my wonderful, amazing sport. The WBC, the IBF, and the WBA and the WBO have created something that youngsters look up to and want to be. That's what they aspire to be.
That's true.
And that's the most important thing.
Did you always have your eyes on WBC?
Yeah, that was my dream belt. Yeah, I mean, listen, there's a man from my city who held it once. The amazing John Conti, and Arco as well, Paul Hodgkinson. You know, there's so many great fighters that come out of my city, but John Conti, in my opinion, is by far the greatest fighter to ever come out of my city or my area, you could say, with him being from Kirby, and I wanted to emulate him. So yeah, and then you know you see the great Tolnick, the Sugar Ray Leonards, the Mike Tysons.
It's in your hands must be an incredible moment.
Evander Holyfield, it was to say the least.
To say the least, yeah. To say the least. It was a Park as well in the ring there.
Dream come true. It was I can't put it into similar. Anyone you know who's lived and seen through their lifelong dream and goal, I've done it. I've been there and done it. So you know I've done that and seen it. So all I'd want is for other kids out there to inspire and go, if I can do it, you can do it. And if you're trying to take away them belts, I say it's just a disgrace. Boxing and the UFC are two completely different sports, and they can't be ran the same. Neither of them is wrong, but they're just two completely different things. And I just think, I appreciate what Dana's doing, and I'm sure it'll gather momentum and it'll gain numbers, but I just don't think boxing can be ran by one man.
No, it's a different sport, isn't it, altogether? All right, a few quick fire questions. Who was the hardest puncher you ever fought in your career?
David Haye.
David Haye, yeah? Yeah,
by far.
Yeah. Do you think he really...
Single punch, yeah. I mean, he hit me in sparring when I was 21, 22. I just won my first ABA title, and he hit me so hard. My back leg kicked out like a donkey. I didn't go down, but it just kicked out, and I just said to him, good shot. He was amazed I was still awake. He hits very, very, very hard. I had a headache.
About your chin as well, though,
listen, I've been dropped, I've been down, I've been stopped, but yeah, I've still not been hit by someone like him. I mean, he hits you and you stay hit.
Haymaker for you there. So seal of approval. Well, following on from that, who's the toughest opponent of your career? Because we know you only lost 3 times. Usyk, Cleverly, and Adonis Stevenson. Was he the toughest, Adonis Stevenson?
No, by far the best Usyk. Yeah. When you say toughest,
that's what makes it tricky, isn't it?
The toughest man I faced, I'm trying to think someone who would give an absolute hiding to, and he took it, Paul Bonson. Yeah. Paul Bonson is the hardest man I've
I appreciate that, because most people would probably expect you to say Usyk, but actually...
No, but Alexander Usyk's the best I faced by a mile. But I wouldn't know how tough Alexander Usyk, because I couldn't fucking hit him enough. He might be really tough, but I didn't find out how tough he was. So yeah, Paul Bonson.
Good stuff. Can we get a quick prediction of you for the Gervonta Davis Lamont Roach rematch, if one comes to fruition? Because we spoke about...
Tank doesn't.
You think so?
Tank doesn't. Yeah. Tank doesn't. Yeah, Tank figures it out. Tank's one of the best thinking fighters there is in the world. He's exceptional, but he's really good. But I think the thing with Tank is it's all in his, he's in his own head, and he lets the outside noise affect him.
Right. Yeah.
Whereas that boy just needs to focus on boxing, take himself away from the shit, and just focus on what, because he is such a talented individual, a really talented fighter, but he's got to keep his head down and focus on his job.
Yeah, we've heard about, talk about him potentially retiring, which would be a great shame to boxing. Hopefully it doesn't happen.
Be terrible.
Yeah, well, hopefully we see him.
He'll be back.
But Lamont Roach must still be fuming.
He's a very good fighter, and I think, he should feel hard done by and aggrieved. But listen, when you get a draw on a home show, on the away, you're the away fighter, kind of tells you where it's at. Take it and run.
Yep. A quick one about Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. just because it's the fight coming up. If we take their fathers out of the equation, is the fight still a blockbuster, sellout stadium fight, or how much does that kind of play a part in it, the narrative?
Well, you have to understand that when it first gets made, it's an O2 show with the build-up and the hype that they've both had. Taking out the fathers, they're building the hype. They've both had a lot of build-up, and they've created their own headlines, and they've done controversial things themselves. But the rematch is a different level. It's captured the public's imagination. You've got grandmothers talking about it. Women in bingo halls are talking about it.
Especially after the egg slap.
Then that makes the news, and the likes of Piers Morgan talking about it on his show on a daily basis. It's astronomical. I mean, this stadium holds 85,000 people. I think it holds 75 or whatever it is. There's 135,000 people on a waiting list for tickets.
Yeah, massive demand.
It's astronomical. I didn't realise how big it was until I was on my way home after the first presser, and I thought to myself, this is big. And then after that press, I thought, okay, this is ginormous. This is just ridiculous.
It's out of proportion now.
It is, but I think that's a good thing. I think it's great for British boxing. It's great for the rivalry. It's great for the promoters involved. It leaves British boxing in a really healthy place.
Yeah, it's great to see. About £100,000 fine for Chris Eubank for the egg slap. Is that a bit harsh?
Need to see where that's going.
Yeah,
I've heard about it's going to ex-fighters funds. Well, I'm one of thousands upon thousands of ex-fighters. I've never heard a single peep from the board since I retired. The only thing I've heard them call is just call me for, are you going to renew your manager's licence? Can you pay us please as soon as possible?
Straight there on the
and it's just like, so I'm not a big fan of the board don't do enough for the former fighters. They really don't, and there's many more like me. I know Paul Smith spoke out about it and said, you know, where's the money go? We only, there should be more former fighters on the board. Right. The board is aging rapidly, and it needs a few younger, fresher faces in there. I think, and that's not me asking to, because I couldn't think of anything worse or more boring than my time is taken up as it is, mate. I'm busy enough, but get some younger faces on that board. Get some former fighters on that board who understand and know what it's like in this modern day being a fighter.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
Because it's tired and it's washed and it's lacking.
Yeah, wise words. Hopefully that does happen.
Fingers
but I think
crossed.
that's enough for this month. Just keeping it brief, but we'll be back soon.